All right, boo, I got a question for you. Is your content working as hard as you are? Either you've thought about this before or you have not. This question should always be top of mind. We live in a world that is so friggin' fast paced. There's YouTube, there's podcasts, there's TikTok, there's Instagram Reels, there's Instagram video, there's YouTube Shorts, there's LinkedIn, there's Twitter, there's all of these different places. And we feel all of this pressure to show up everywhere, but we get so overwhelmed because we don't want to create new content all the time. And if you relate to that at all, you are so in the right place. I would create separate content for my Instagram, separate content for my podcast, separate content for my blog, separate content for my YouTube channel. Everything was so separate. Not only did this create an unnecessary amount of work, but this also led to there not being any cohesiveness within my main brand. Because everywhere someone went, they got different information. My whole point was, okay, I know not everybody listens to a podcast, so I want to be on YouTube. Not everybody watches YouTube videos, so I want to be on Instagram. If I'm creating separate content for everything, I am doing everyone a disservice. Number one, meaning myself. In today's video, I'm going to show you how I managed to turn one video into, at minimum, 5 different pieces of content. If you're not a video creator, trust me, stick around. You're still going to get a ton of value from this, and it's going to get some wheels turning. Also, I couldn't help myself. I really geek out on content repurposing. There is a 6th bonus way for you to repurpose your content at the end. So make sure you stick around. All right, let's dive into number 1. Pulling the audio from the YouTube video and turning it into a podcast. This is something that I've done for my own podcast, and it has saved my sanity so much. Now, you have to think about the style. If you have an existing podcast already, you have to think about the fact that does your current video style match your podcast style? If you have a lot of sound effects in your podcast, but not on your YouTube videos, you're going to want to think about that during the editing process. My podcast is pretty basic, and the way I teach on my abuse recovery main YouTube channel is the same way that I teach on my podcast. So pulling that audio and putting it into my podcast workflow, I just create a separate intro, outro for it. Bam, 5 minutes done, and I've got an entire podcast plan. I know that this doesn't always work for all channels, like music channels or gaming channels, it may not work so well, but keep this in mind. If there are pieces of the audio that really stand out, you may be able to still pull that audio and turn it into like an audiogram, or turn it into a meme with a funny picture on it that's easily shareable that are going to drive people back to the original video. Even if you don't got a podcast, or even if you don't want to even consider that, think about your audio and think about the different ways that you can stretch it. Take that audio and transcribe it. That transcription is going to turn into a blog post. Now, obviously, you've got to clean it up a little bit, but taking 10 minutes to clean up a transcript versus taking 3 hours to write a whole blog post, yeah, it's worth it. And then if you are on LinkedIn, you take that blog post, maybe make a couple of edits, optimize it for LinkedIn, and then post it as an article on LinkedIn, linking back to the original video. You are creating a feedback loop that's going to hit from multiple angles. That way, you've got a blog post that's completely done, which is going to drive more Google traffic. You're going to link the video in there in case people do want to watch it. And then you've got your LinkedIn article already done. Let's take a step back. You've already got your video. You spent all of this time recording and brainstorming and editing and publishing the video and making a banging thumbnail, making a banging title. Then you take that audio and you pull it, and now it's a blog post. The next step is even easier because you've already gone to the work to edit the blog post and make it readable. Grab sections from that blog post. Make sure that there's a beginning and an end and it makes sense, and that's going to be turned into multiple social media posts. These can be captions for Instagram, it can be posts on LinkedIn, it can be posts on Facebook. You've already got it, the text right there. It's literally a copy paste. Maybe you add a call to action at the end, you format it to make it native to the platform, but the major work is already done. And then you take those captions and you spread them far and wide on whatever social media accounts you're on. So that's already 3 ways. So you've taken one video and broken it down to use in multiple places. Technically, the third way, which is breaking it into social media posts, is turning it into multiple posts. Because even if you have a 6-minute video, that could easily break down into a blog post that pulls 3 to 5 social media posts out of it. I mean, if that's not magic, I don't know what is. This next thing I geek out on, and it is one of my favorite projects to do for clients. What you do is you lay out the video in your video editor and you watch and you grab bite-sized pieces of content that stand out to you, you pull them out, you save them, and you upload that to TikTok, to YouTube Shorts, and drive traffic back to the original video. You're not doing pinned comments, you need to get on that. And then you put it on Instagram Reels and you put the caption on and you add a little bit of music from their native platform, bam, done. So now you've got your video that you're able to break down into a bunch of smaller videos that is going to be used on a minimum 3 other platforms. Going back to the video and pulling some longer clips. If you have a video that is longer than 10 minutes, you have at minimum 2+ minute clips in there. You're gonna take those clips and you're gonna upload them as a video to Facebook, as a video to Instagram, not as a reel, as a video to LinkedIn. And you're going to drive people back to the original video to pull traffic. This is going to help you build authority because people are going to know, oh, wow, they are not only making content on this platform, but they're making long form content on another platform. Even if I don't want to go back and watch the rest of that video right this second, I know they must know what they're talking about. So I'm going to make sure I click that follow button, I click that subscribe button, I click that connect button so I can come back and check in later. So those are the top 5 ways to repurpose your YouTube video. But I also want to share a 6th way. So not only can you take those posts that you use for social media, LinkedIn, but you can once again go through, take those posts, take them and you grab just 1 or 2 sentences, bam, you post them on Twitter. I'm not super familiar with a lot of the Twitter schedulers, but you can even take some of those and schedule it to post one of those lines every couple of hours. And then bam, you've got these tweets going out and people are going to be more apt to see that content. What I would love to know is which one are you going to implement today? Let me know in the comments, and make sure you check out this video right here because it's going to teach you how to break down your videos from long form into shorts, TikTok, IG, Reels content. Thank you so much for hanging out and we'll talk soon.